on. Anybody that knows the Senior Center knows that it's gone through a lot of changes, a lot of turnover the last few years, and we've been lucky enough to have Randy come in, who has been involved in nonprofits for over 35 years, so we're very fortunate to have his expertise here. He was born and raised in Albany. Him and his wife, Vicki, have been married for 40 years as of December, and they have 10 adult children, or 4 adult children, 10 grandchildren. So obviously very busy, but he has done a phenomenal job with the Senior Center and the Meals on Wheels, and anytime I'm in there, I mean, it's bustling, and there's people coming in and out. I mean, it's just very lively, and we're lucky to have him, so we're excited to hear from you.
So I've been with the Senior Center for a year, and you just never know what's going to walk through the door. We do activities, we do the Meals on Wheels, but within my first month, I had a gentleman walk in. He was 83, blank look on his face, very well dressed. I could see he was having trouble, and I said, "Is there something I can do to help you?" And he looked at me and he says, "Yeah, my wife died last week and she's in the fridge." I quickly shuffled it into my office. So in his hand, he had a deed to a cemetery plot, and he also had an invoice from a funeral home. So we started talking, and for 20 years, he was his wife's caregiver. She had dementia, and she passed. So over the next hour and a half, we found where the cemetery plot was. We walked him through all of the stuff, and he, at the end, looked at me and said, "What is this place?" The next week, he signed up, and he comes every week to help for lunch. I apologize, I have the shakes.
It's fine.
And I don't need to. We have over 200 to 300 people come through the Senior Center every day. Most of us know about the Meals on Wheels program. And in a bit, I'm going to share some of the other activities. But I want to introduce Janine. She's been with us for a few months, and she oversees that program. So I'd like Janine to come up and say a few words.
Hi, everybody. Just my little cheat sheet, because I will forget the important details that I wanted to share with you guys. As Randy said, my name is Janine. I was hired this past March as the Meals on Wheels coordinator at the Redmond Senior Center. I'm the direct liaison with the Council on Aging in Bend, who oversees our program, and our home delivery clients, and our volunteer drivers. To be eligible for Meals on Wheels, an individual must be 60 years or older, be homebound or deemed to be at nutritional risk, which is defined as physically or mentally predominantly unable to shop for or safely prepare meals to meet minimal nutritional requirements. There are medical exceptions that are processed through the state, and we have eligibility for caregivers of clients that qualify, and applications are all handled through Council on Aging. Once approved, they're forwarded to me. So I get them put in the system, get them scheduled for their first delivery, assign the route. We have routes A through K. I don't even know how many routes that is, but one of our routes at one time was so large we actually split it into 2 parts. We have 169 clients that receive home delivered meals. Some people receive them Monday through Friday, some Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some Tuesday, Thursday, so it's not everybody has the same needs, so it can be different days. We service Redmond, Terrebonne, and Crooked River Ranch. One of the things that I'm really proud of the center and happened before I came on board was they saw the need for Crooked River Ranch, which is out there quite a ways. It's too much to ask our Redmond drivers to deliver. So they connected with somebody at Crooked River Ranch who organizes separate drivers at Crooked River Ranch. So our driver just meets them at the beginning of the ranch and hands off the meals for the day, and then Crooked River Ranch residents do the route. And I think that's amazing that our communities can come together and do that for those people in need. We also have 115 volunteer drivers, which obviously our program would not exist without these drivers. One of our drivers is a member, I guess. I did not know that. Hi, Chairman. And so many of our drivers drive on a regular basis. They have their assigned routes and their assigned days, and either it's once a month. A lot of our drivers drive weekly, and there's a couple that actually drive every Monday and Friday for us. So our volunteers are just amazing. Through the center, we also have 35 additional volunteers that do different things around the center for us. And a lot of our drivers double duty. They drive and then they come and volunteer their time in the senior center as well. We have a program for our Meals on Wheels clients. It's called Passion for Pets. And this allows us, Randy is amazing. He makes bingo fun. I've never played bingo in my life. And
Have you ever won?
yes.
That's why you think it's fun.
Well, I
He
don't
doesn't
win as
let
often
me
as
win, ever.
my husband does. My husband was winning a lot. James was winning a lot in the
I know.
beginning. And so, but then we hit a dry spell. But the last time I won a couple weeks ago, actually won twice in a night. So that was kind of amazing. But Randy calls bingo and he jokes around and he just makes it a lot of fun. So that's every Wednesday night at Elements, and he graciously donates all of the tips that he gets that night to the Passion for Pets program. So that's how those two are connected. Passion for Pets allows us to provide 30 days worth of pet food for those clients in need that are in our Meals for Wheels program. And so Lana, our volunteer coordinator, she goes out once a month and delivers the food for the approved clients. That's kind of it in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions?
For your drivers for Meals on Wheels, let's say there's people that like to participate, if they travel sometimes,
Ah.
or how does that work?
Absolutely. So we have our list, and every week I put out the schedule, but the schedule is done a whole month in advance. So we're entering week 3 for July. So I already have week 3 for August done. And then of course there's gaps in there, and so if somebody came back early from vacation or whatever, they can just come in and look and see what's available and write their name in. So, any other questions?
How many meals did you say you serve a day on Meals on Wheels?
A day we average 125. We have 169 clients that are active in our system right now. And so the days can vary just because some clients get them on Mondays and Wednesdays, some clients only Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And we're averaging, what, about 32 in-house meals a day, too?
Yeah, it can go up, especially on Lindy days.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm not stepping on toes, but one of the fun things at the senior center is pretty much every
It's a
Friday.
marketing thing, that's why I told you something.
Is it? Or is it an Angela thing? Angela is our activities director. And so on Fridays, we always do something fun. Every other Friday, we started movie matinee, and we have popcorn and beverages. And then on the alternating Fridays, we usually have a live music. And Lindy is a really kitschy, funny performer, and on those days, we pack the house. So.
I've been told you have happy hours at the senior center?
That's the happy
that
hour
true?
is with Lindy. We do. We serve beer and wine, happy hour, and those are on the alternating Fridays. And at
Would you
happy
ask
hour,
them
we
what?
have music talent. So it's a lot of fun.
Are you especially busy right now with the heat? Do people come in, like if you
That's a
sit
good
on the
point.
senior center as a cooling shelter?
We are a cooling shelter. This week I haven't seen that so much. Yesterday was actually really quiet. We weren't surprised with it being the hottest day so far. But we do encourage them to come because we do still serve lunch. Oh, and one of the great things, sorry, probably stepping on toes again.
You heard you want to read my notes too?
Yes, please. Monday through Friday, we serve hot lunch 11:45 to 12:30ish. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have salad bar, which has been very popular. So I think maybe yesterday, because we didn't have salad bar, people were staying home because it was hot. Yeah, it was really quiet in the center yesterday, which we loved because we got a lot done. So if that's not all, it was really nice being here, and thank you for having me.
We average about 39,000 meals a year. between what we do in-house and what we deliver. So it's quite a big number. We don't get reimbursed 100%. There is a grant that Council on Aging gets, and they refund us $5 a meal. But they cap that number at a certain number based on what we did a year ago. And so we get a contract every year based on our previous meals. So we receive, it cost us almost $260,000 a year for our food program. We get reimbursed at about 180, so we have to fill that gap. As well as the center itself runs on just about $600,000 a year, and the only guaranteed money we get is 180. So we're a nonprofit, we're privately funded, so part of our job is to cover that cost with rental income, donations, me having coffee with people, James looking for different businesses that might help support us. So it's a big task. So we bring in about $16,000 a month, guaranteed, but our expenses are closer to 30 or 35. So it's a big, when I first got the job, and that was a year ago, I always thought it was funded by the city. And that's when the board let me know we have 2 months of operating our own thing. And I went, oh, and they said, do you still want the job? So let me share just a little bit about some of the other things that we do. 95% of our folks live alone. They come to the center for socialization. Most of them show up at 10, and they leave by about 2. As Janine mentioned, we have a happy hour and a movie matinee twice a month. We have 60 hours of exercise classes a month. And we do that in partnership with the Redmond Park and Rec. Today when I left, the yarn spinners were there. We have spinners that come in and spin yarn with their old-fashioned spinners. They do mink, yak, camel, just a variety of different animals, and they're there once a month for 2 hours. On Fridays, we do what's called Walk for Coffee at 12:30. We started this back in October to try to get people there on Friday afternoons. So we did this in conjunction with the library, and the librarian and I started recruiting seniors to walk. And we would meet at the senior center, pick a coffee shop, and then we'd spend 20 minutes walking there, have a cup, and walk back. Now, we made the mistake of picking Junction Roasters. If you know where the senior center is located, we have to cross 5th and 6th Street. And Redmond is wonderful about how if they know somebody's going to go across the street, they stop. Now, when you have 25 seniors all walking at a different pace, they're getting a 10-minute parade, and they don't know it. So that's just one of the programs. As Jeanine mentioned, we have lunch Monday through Friday. We have line dancing for 2 hours or an hour and a half twice a week. We have about 35 women. And then there's one creepy guy, and I don't know him, and he watches half the time, but he does participate. Truman's down there every Monday and Tuesday. We have pickleball from 1 to 3 in our little gym. We play bridge, poker, and bingo. We have ping pong, and we have cornhole. And if a senior comes in and wants an activity, a lot of times, if it's self-driven, like we have a jewelry making class because somebody wanted to do jewelry making. So anybody can participate. We do crochet once a week. So we're very open to different things. When we did a survey, happy hour was the #1 thing our seniors wanted. And I don't know how you do a happy hour if everybody goes home at 3, but we did it, and we get as many as 80 to 90 people showing up, and they have a ball. So those are a lot of the things that Jeanine mentioned tonight. I call bingo, and I do it every Wednesday. We've been very blessed with businesses donating to our Passion for Pets. And if we had to buy the food each month, it would cost $600. But we kind of share what we're raising money for. And we've raised almost $3,000 doing bingo, and we've only had to spend $140. So we've got this pot for those times when it goes a little dry. So it is our 75th anniversary, and I'm going to introduce James, our marketing and facilities person. And he's going to share a little bit about what that looks like in September.
Awesome. Well, how you guys doing?
Good.
So, like he said, I'm James. I'm the new marketing coordinator over at the Senior Center, hired on back in late February. If I knew better, I would have picked early March because he immediately had me working on the new newsletter, which I think is pretty good. A lot better than the old one. No offense.
It was.
It is.
But as the marketing coordinator, what I do is, my job is to bring awareness to the center in order to either increase membership or increase donations, sponsorships. And so one of the very first things I did when I got to the Senior Center is started writing an article about it because I wanted to put it in the paper. And doing some research, I looked back, and lo and behold, in 1949 is when the Senior Center first started by 4 volunteers in Redmond, a little tiny house that they called the Little House. It was open to the seniors to come in to get a healthy meal, socialize, play games, and lo and behold, here we are 75 years later, doing it now for roughly 6,000 people a month, or give or take a few. And we're doing it in totally new, exciting ways. When I first got this job, I actually went out to some of the businesses and places and talked to people and asked if they've ever heard of the Senior Center. And they're like, we didn't know Redmond had a Senior Center. And it was kind of awestruck the other day when I was talking to somebody, and they actually approached me and said, hey, aren't you the guy that works at the Senior Center? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And they're like, hey, we love your newsletter. And we hear that Senior Center is the best Senior Center in Oregon. And I'm like, well, thank you. It is. I think it is. And because we're there to have fun. Happy hour is not just sitting around having coffee. We have beer, we have wine, we have live music. What Senior Center has live music and a happy hour as the best way to kick off your week is that Friday afternoon from 1 to 2 is at the Senior Center, especially when Lindy is there. Lindy is a fantastic entertainer. But the big thing right now is the 75th year anniversary. So when I told Randy had no idea, and he has an excuse, he's fairly new too. He told the board had no idea. Now I would have expected them to maybe know a little bit more of the history, but they had no idea. So I started doing this whole researching and found out that it is 75 years, and it's time to have a party. If we've been around for 75 years, especially during 2 of the hardest years of the Senior Center's life, which was COVID, and being able to keep that alive, and still being able to deliver the Meals on Wheels to 150 plus seniors, that says some remarkable stuff about our volunteers and the people that contribute to the center. And I want to make sure that we recognize our seniors and the companies and individuals that support the Senior Center. So we're having a big party. We're having a September 14th, having a kind of open house membership celebration at the Senior Center. It's free for everyone. We're going to have the Notables, which is a swing band. They'll be there playing live. We'll have beer, wine, and some appetizers and food and a big celebration kind of thing going on. And then the following day on the 15th, September 15th, we have a concert over at the Blacksmith Public House. He has graciously donated his venue and a band, and that band is Sleepless Truckers. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're
Yep.
very good, very loud,
Yep.
but you're guaranteed to have a good time. I was at their concert about a month ago, and it was a lot of fun. So our goal is to raise $20,000 during that time to help pay for expenses and operation expenses and whatever else. So our tickets are $25 for general admission. We also have a VIP ticket for $100. You get special seating, plus you get a little grab bag that you take home, and there's an after party that you have access to where you'll be able to meet the band, meet celebrities like myself, and Janine, and be able to talk just one-on-one, just have a good time after the concert. So, marketing never ends. When I don't feel like I have a job. I feel like I'm doing what I love doing, and going to the center is just like going to see my family every morning. The people, including the seniors and the staff, are some of the best people you'll ever meet. Any questions?
You know, can I say something?
Yeah.
Earl and I are both on the board at the Senior Center, and there's two things that have happened in the last year, both of which have been very, very positive, because a couple years ago we were in an existential crisis. We weren't sure we were going to be able to keep the doors open. But Randy coming on board, hiring people, good people like you guys, has been a huge, huge plus.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. You know, sometimes you have to work your way through people and try to figure out who does what. But also financially, you know, you all are very mindful of that. We're the biggest Meals on Wheels program in Central Oregon. Bigger than Bend, bigger than all the other ones.
I didn't even know that. Thank
Yeah,
you for that
if
information.
you really want to do something kind of cool, and I know, Truman, you'll admit to this or agree with this, go on, do a route once in a while and see the folks and talk to them, and talk to their pets. You know, it's a great thing that we're doing. It's very important. Agree, Earl?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The news had a story a few weeks ago about Rotary having a program that offers free home and yard maintenance to seniors. Can you enlarge upon that?
I'm going to pass that on to Randy.
Well, Randy's a member of it.
He's a member of the program.
What they're doing is they put a team together of men and women that have maintenance skills. And one of the members from Rotary had this when he was in California. They put together a home team. They target seniors, and they don't necessarily do yard maintenance. They do more fixing up plumbing and cabinet work. If you have a leaky faucet, if you need your toilet repaired, if you need your lights changed or your batteries in your smoke detector, they'll do some light maintenance things around your house. They're going to do it one Saturday a month. It's taken us about 3 months to get it off the ground because trying to get some of the Rotarians to come down and fill out a background check is a little difficult because they all think they're great. They don't have to do that. But we're going to be starting it next month, and it'll be every other month on a Saturday. We're taking the registration. You don't have to be a member of the Senior Center. You just have to be a senior and of need. You call us, you fill out a form that says what the details are, and then they'll send a 2-person team to your house for as long as that takes that day.
Awesome.
So before I forget, I wanted to let you know that up here for everyone, if you want, is a nice little press kit that I put together. It has in here, has our latest newsletter, it has some information about marketing, has some information about infographic that I did about what life is like without a senior center compared to what it's like with a senior center. And then it also has a couple forms in here for businesses to donate to our 75th celebration, or if they want to be a sponsor. So if you have a business or even an individual that is interested, forms are right here. But, and then business cards are in here also. And a little sticky sticker for your window or car or whatever you want, just as a thank you for taking one of these. And they're up here for free if anybody wants them.
At our celebration, we are looking for raffle and silent auction items for both Saturday and Sunday's event. So if you know someone that would like to help support us, we would appreciate filling that out or getting a hold of either myself or James. So thank you for having us
I'm
today.
sure we can come up with a Kiwanis basket, can't we guys? Something
Yes.
that's real wonderful,
Yes.
so count us in.
All right, thank you.
Also, if you three would come up, just, we want to thank you so much for all the work you do in the community, first and foremost, and to support our seniors the way you do. We're so thankful for you. And to take time out of your busy day to come to speak with us. So just a small token of thank you. I want Randy to take this out at his Rotary meeting. A Kiwanis pin by a local artisan here. And I think we'll take a quick picture if that's okay for social media. Yeah. Oh, and James, make sure to share your the big celebration with us so that we can
Yes.
get the word out on social media as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, and guys, in honor of Randy, Janine, and James, caring for our seniors is perhaps the greatest responsibility that we have. Those who have walked before us have given so much and made possible the life we all enjoy. John Haven. And with that, we are adjourned.